Can you increase the range of your electric vehicle by adding some aero modifications? That's the question today, and this video is all for science. Let's get to it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Detached Garage. Today is all about the science, and we are going to see if we can increase the range of my 2020 Tesla Model S with these new wheel covers. So you can see the wheel covers on the car right now. These are the factory wheel covers. It's rated at 402 miles of range from Tesla, brand new with the battery. This is 5 years old, so it's a little bit less. So what we're going to do to make sure we're scientific is we are going to charge this car up. We are gonna do a 30-mile loop, possibly even longer than that, but we'll use the trip odometer in the car to do that, and we will measure how many kilowatt hours of energy we went through. We will also keep the air conditioning on, and we will also kind of keep it between 70 and 80 degrees. So this should mitigate any wind, since we're gonna be doing a round trip loop, and we're also gonna mitigate any temperature. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the drive first today with the current wheel setup, then we're gonna come back, we're gonna put the Halo disc wheel covers on, and which should only take a few minutes to install those, and then we're gonna charge it back up to the same state of charge and get back out on the road and do the exact same thing with the Halo covers and see which one uses less energy to go further. These are supposed to promise a 5% range increase. We're gonna do this at highway speeds so you get the maximum aerodynamic effect to see if these really work. So let's flip the camera around. We'll do a little bit of unboxing of these wheel covers, and we'll go on the initial drive, get the initial baseline measurements, then we'll install them and go for the final drive. All right, guys, so everything in here is labeled super nice. You've got the installation tool, you've got the center caps, you've got all the hub pieces that go together, the center lock caps, everything like that. Everything is ready to go. So you've got a left, you've got a right, everything is labeled, and below here are the actual covers themselves. So let's take this piece out and get to the covers. All right, guys, so each cover comes in its own box, and it has its own foam cover here. This is plastic injection molded. This is polycarbonate ABS, so a little bit stronger. Polycarbonate is what your headlight lenses are made out of, so impact resistance. ABS is a cheaper material, but still a durable material. So you can see in here, it's got the vents on the sides. And so these will go on and give the car a black look here with the blacked out look. So the current wheel setup, you have vents all through here. So certainly much better for venting any brake dust and anything like that. But the whole point of these is to keep the air flowing down the side of the car. So a lot more vents on this compared to the 4 you get around the Halo disc. So let's take this car for a drive. We'll come back, we'll install all of this, and then we will show you the numbers. All right, guys, so we are headed south on Moreland Road here. We're gonna get to Highway 43, which is a little further south than this. I wanted to do this on Highway 94, but there's too much construction going on. So 43 has a pretty good shot. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get on the interstate on Highway 43. We're gonna head south, and I am going to start the trip odometer at the next exit. That way we're already up to speed. We take the acceleration out of the equation. There's trying to do this as scientific as possible. We're 88 degrees outside right now. We've got about 60% stated charge. We'll have a little bit less when we get to the highway, but this is going to give us the best equal footing for both this set of wheels, which is the stock set of wheels, as well as the Halo black wheel covers. So I will start filming back again when we get to the on-ramp here, and then we will film when we start the trip odometer over here. All right, guys, so on the on-ramp here, we have the climate control set at 68. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Tire pressures are good. We'll get up to speed here. We will set the cruise. I'm probably going to set the cruise maybe like 75 to 80. We'll see here, depending on how much traffic. There is quite a bit of traffic actually for a Sunday afternoon. But we'll get that set, and then when we come up to the next exit here, we will get the trip odometer started and go from there. All right, guys, we have it set at 80. We've got quite a bit of traffic, actually. So we are coming up on Racine Avenue here. As soon as we go under the bridge up here, I will reset the trip. So we're going to hit trip A, and we'll just do cancel for right now until we get to the bridge. So reset. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, reset. There it is. All right, so we are reset. And this will get the distance, it will get our average energy consumption, our total energy consumption. And so we are gonna drive basically 15 to 20 miles, depending on what a good exit seems to be. Then we will loop around and come back the other direction and stop it at that same bridge, and so that we take acceleration out of the equation. All right, guys, so coming up here on 4 kilowatt hours of energy, we've gone about 12 miles. We're averaging that 325 to 300, kind of going uphill here, so we'll have a little bit taller energy consumption right now. But we should probably extend this, I'm thinking, to closer to 20 miles each way. We've been able to hold a good, consistent 80 miles an hour after we got past that first red car that was kind of clogging things up. But we're going to get over to the side here and let this truck pass, and then we will be back into the left lane to keep going our 80, and we'll check back in with you when we get off at the exit. All right, guys, Bowers Road, getting off at the exit here. We have basically 20 miles on the dot as we get to the end of the off-ramp here. When we get back on, I am just gonna resume cruise control to get back up to 80 miles an hour. So I will let the car consistently do that this time as well as next time, and then we will get back on the highway. So acceleration will be basically the same if we can do this consistently and there's not a lot of traffic where we have to merge. So let's get back on the highway here. And we will hit the resume on the cruise control. Oh, we got 72, but we'll hit resume anyways, and we will bump that up to 80. So we'll let the car do its thing, accelerate how it wants to accelerate. And so far, total 6.8 kilowatt hours, 20.6 miles, 334 average. All right, guys, so we have 30 miles of total driving so far. We're averaging a little bit less watt hours per mile. So that's one of the reasons why we're doing this both directions, is to try to keep as consistent as possible and account for the wind. So traffic is actually pretty busy for a Sunday. We're still 90 degrees outside. Climate control still set at 68. So just wanted to get a 30-mile check just in case we get slowed down a little bit here. We've pretty much been going 80 miles an hour the whole way. It looks like there's some slow cars ahead, and we're going to get a little bit slower. So we will see how that affects the overall consumption. All right, guys, in the home stretch here, 39.4 miles. We are about to go under the bridge here in a little bit. We are going downhill, so our average will improve a bit. 321.2 right now. So we will see how many kilowatt hours we actually consume. There is a little bit of traffic up ahead of us right now, but we're still holding that 80 miles an hour going downhill. So yeah, you can see the average is coming down pretty quickly, even though we've covered 40.1 miles. This is this is going to be good for the overall consumption. We have slowed down to 78. There's a little bit of traffic up in front, but we will stop the timer right as we go under this bridge. So we were going to call it now. So 40.7 miles, 12.8 kilowatt hours, and 313.8 watt hours per mile. All right, guys, so super simple to install these. Once I got the one done over here, but we're gonna walk you through doing this one. So this is your hub piece. It's got these expanding bearings in here that when you push the center piece, the bearings come in and drop out. So once you get your wheel cover off, you basically get your nut here into the center of the piece, and then you push this in to insert it into the tire. And then you try pulling it out once you've released, and now that's a good fit. So now we are going to push the rubber washer up, and we're gonna spin this down so we get solid. And then we're gonna hold this, and now they give you this wrench that you put on this teeth, these teeth here, and then you basically crank this down further. Kind of tighten it up against there, so that is not going anywhere. So that's the first piece. Now what you do, you take your wheel cover and you get it lined up in the center. Put your hub on, get that threaded, that will help center it. So that is on. You use the same wrench, come around, tighten that. Then there's a safety screw that you put in the center here. Thread that in. It's got a lock washer as well as another washer on it. That will keep this hub section in. Tighten that down, and you get the hub. So then the hub goes on, find it, and lock it in. And then you're done. All right, guys, so super fast install. I love the look of these. It makes the car look so much better. I was planning on going with the Stormtrooper look anyways. Now we just got to black out all the chrome trim, chrome handles, chrome side cameras, everything like that. But this looks great. Got to clean the tires, obviously, clean the car itself. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about science, and we are gonna get back in the car. I'm actually gonna drive to a supercharger really close to my house in Waukesha at the Woodmans. Get this supercharged up to kind of be about the same state of charge as we started with last time. I know state of charge really only impacts performance when you're accelerating like crazy, but I wanna make this test as even as possible. So let's go wash our hands, we'll get in the car, we'll head to the supercharger, and then we'll get back out on the road and do this test again. And this really only took about 20 minutes to do, even with all the filming. All right, guys, let's plug into the supercharger here. All right, we are juiced up. Let's get back on the road. All right, guys, so we are back onto Moreland Road here. We're gonna take a right and then get onto the on-ramp. Again, same thing. We've got the Halo black wheel covers on, and we are going to hit the reset button on the trip odometer as soon as we get to Racine Avenue, which is the next exit up. That should take care of any acceleration variance between this on-ramp here and where we're going. So we will go roughly 40 some miles, and then we will tell you what we're looking at from a comparison. This should be, if we do it correctly, this should be basically 300, this should basically be 300 watt hours per mile. That's a 5% savings, so instead of 320, it should be 300, 305. So we will get it started right when we get to that point. All right, guys, there's the exit for Racine Avenue. We are going to reset trip A. As soon as we get under the bridge here, we'll get it reset. So reset, reset, and we are off. All right, guys, so roughly 10 miles in here, and we are at 310 watt hours per mile. We are still 92 degrees outside, 51 state of charge. I did accidentally have the air conditioning on 66, so we have bumped it up to 68. That's where we had the last one. It is a little warmer outside than it was the first time, but that should even out in general. So I can't remember what we were at on 10 miles, but we are still making progress here. We've pretty much held 80 the entire time. So we will check in a little closer to our turnaround up here at Bowers Road. All right, guys, Bowers Road, here we are getting off at the exit. We are slowing down, and we've got 20 miles exactly, 6.6 kilowatt hours, 330 watt hours per mile. Again, this we're regenning battery here, so we will slow down, take a left, and get back on the highway. And again, we are going to use the cruise control to help us speed up, to try and eliminate any variance in acceleration. Get on the highway here. And hit the cruise control to get us back up to speed. All right. I can't remember how this compares to our last time, but we are getting back on the highway here. I know we had a little bit of a bump up. There it is. We'll slow it back down to 80 miles an hour. And we're back on. So we will give you some additional updates here as we get through this. Again, I can't remember. I think we're probably pretty close, but again, they're only advertising a 5% difference. So really a few factors could play into that. We're 89 degrees right now, 68 on the climate control, and we're headed back roughly a little over 40 miles. So we'll check back in as we get closer to that 10-mile mark on the way back. All right, guys, so coming up on the 30-mile mark here. Again, I can't remember where we're at. We're still pretty close, 319 kilowatt hours per mile. So we are still at 80 miles an hour, some more traffic coming on, 90 degrees outside, still got the climate control set at 68. We will keep on rolling here and update you as we get closer to the full 40-mile loop. All right, guys, we have the bridge in sight, and we are at 40.5 miles, 320.8, and 320.2, 13 kilowatt hours, and 319.7. So I think it is basically the exact same. Like I said, this trip we went a little bit longer at 80. We didn't have the slowdown of the traffic as much. So overall, I think it's probably a wash on whether these actually increase your range by 5% or not, but I certainly like the look of the wheels a lot better. So let's get the car flipped around, and we'll head north towards Waukesha back home, and we will do a deep dive into what all this data means and whether you guys should spend the money to get these wheel covers. All right, guys, so it turns out these wheel covers were a bit of a wash compared to the standard wheel covers, but I do really like the look a lot better. I'm going to tint the windows, I'm going to delete the chrome, turn everything black so we'll have that black and white contrast, that stormtrooper look. But overall, back to the science and the reason why you guys tuned into this video. We had 320 watt hours per mile average with these, and we had 315 watt hours per mile average with the standard covers. So it was about a 5 watt hour difference per mile over 40 miles. Now, there's a few different factors that played into this. I went back and looked at the footage and kind of tried to time how much I was doing 80 miles an hour versus the first run where we were stuck behind traffic. We got stuck behind traffic right away for quite a few miles, and that was going on an uphill section. Also, on the second session, I had the air conditioning set 2 degrees lower, which was also a higher consumption, and it was hotter outside. So I believe both of these factors, with the second run using more energy for the climate control, as well as more time spent at 80 miles an hour compared to the first run, I think it's basically a wash. That 5 watt hour per mile with those specific factors coming into effect is basically negligible. Again, they might have some better increases without that variance. If I do a much longer trip than 40 miles, we can take a look at it. So drop in the comments below whether you think these actually increase the range or if it just does just as well as the factory wheel covers that gave the car a 400-mile range from the factory. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comments below. I hope to catch you on the next episode.